Hey everyone, today I would love to talk about whether staying in something is a virtue or if it's actually not so much to celebrate. As an example of what I will cover today, it's like, should you stay in, for example, there are many people who stay in one job for, let's say, 20 years, and they feel like, wow, look how big person I am, whatever. So is it cool or not? First, I would love to make a little introduction on a little new perspective, and it is like we may feel sort of goal-oriented. We think, oh, in this job I will one day have a better salary, I will become a specialist in something, and or in the relationship. So we think that there are some goals like marriage and having kid is like achievement, whatever. But in fact, such things are a process. They're a journey, and they are the end in themselves. So when you have a job, when you have a relationship, you actually achieve most you can today, not in 20 years when you'll have a better position, but today. Yes, of course you want to think long term. So when you think long term in relationships, with friends, with partner, in work, so you want to have some like dream vision, rather, maybe a vision where you want to get, but it shouldn't be at the cost of the process. Because like tomorrow you can be hit by a car. So of course, like, you want to make money for a flat, but do you have to stay in this one job that sucks and that you don't like, right? Okay, so I've been I just hate this topic because I was tired of it, of like explaining myself. Then I just went my way, and I realized I don't have to explain myself anymore, because I just do not allow people to be questioning me because why? All right, so let's just address this topic. Like, let's say you changed industry. I changed industry, I would say, let's say 3 times, 4 times, but okay. And I'm very young, right? So you may think, there's all this shame on everyone who changed the industry ever, as if you were starting all over again. But in fact, when you're changing industry, you're always taking something from the past into the new industry, into a new position, and so on. So it's not like you're not starting from scratch. You can't, like, you already grew in a certain way, and it always just enriches you. It actually provides you a new perspective on your work, on your life, on everything you do. So it's actually a gain. It's like a huge gain, because your way of how you see the world is not like this anymore. It's like this. So this is what actually happens. Okay, but it doesn't mean that if someone specializes in one niche, I think that's amazing, because when you think long term, it gets easier and easier the older you are, the longer you are in the industry, because you already have contacts and so on. It's actually very difficult to begin from scratch, or again, like, it's not really from scratch, but like begin in a new industry, or when you're starting a new relationship and you have to get to know what the person likes and so on. Now a question, like, because you'll be ashamed if you are starting new things, right? So why is it like this? I think it's because we are taught from the beginning, when we are born, so that we should deliver things. We should focus on the goals. We should focus on accomplishment, and like, just really finish things. For example, let's imagine, I don't have a book here around, but imagine I was reading a book. So in the average, like, society, whatever, people will feel like, if I was a failure, if I wouldn't finish a book, because I don't enjoy it. So I will either suffer to enjoy this, to finish this book, I will feel like, oh my God, I really hate reading it, but I just really want to finish it. And the society will look at you like, oh, you haven't finished the book. But why would I be reading it if I don't enjoy it? So does it make me a hero if I finish this book? Because I believe that it's about self-respect. If I do not finish this, if I don't like it, why would I waste my time, waste my energy? Why would I enforce myself? Why would I have to control myself just to finish this book if I would be suffering? And the same we do with work, the same we do with relationships. And so what does it actually stand for? Is it like really, is it something that we should celebrate? Like, wow, look, I finished this book. So should we celebrate this form of like suffering and self-control? And is it really like, does it say, because we have this belief on our mind that it's a lot about, this parental side of us, like, oh, I can control myself to really finish this. I can control myself to do this work, and look how strong I am, how soldier I am, whatever. No, it's just, it makes me tense so much just talking about it, because I know we all do it at some point. And in fact, it's a lot about just proving. It's like a child position of like, look, mom, I really finished this book. Look how big of papa, father, look, I finished this book. How big boy I am, And but it doesn't, just like this suffering, this self-control, this whatever you do, it doesn't really bring joy anyone. So you're like proving yourself to reach some sort of status, to get some, I don't know, like feeling. You're proving, you may think that, oh, I prove it myself, but when you're proving yourself, it's still like prolonging of the father's figure in your mind. So you're just like proving yourself that I could fight it, I could, or you're offending whatever, like your parents, and unconsciously that you can suffer. Like, oh, I hate life so much, let's suffer. It's like, doesn't it sound ridiculous, right? And another reason why this is a child position, it's because if you would leave an industry, there's a lot of the unknown. You are scared to face. You're just afraid, and it's normal to be afraid. Okay, it's like fine to be afraid. We're all human beings, and fear is like part of this game. Baba. And but like when you're like, how it reminds me when kids are playing on the sand, somewhere on the playground. So they're like, look, I built this castle and I'm bigger, and it's bigger than yours. It's so stupid, right? Okay, so, because no one is comparing some sort of happiness, because there's no need to do so. So actually, when you are changing industry, this is a lot about the adult position. Why? Because you are willing to accept responsibility for yourself. You are willing to stand for yourself. You are willing to go and even face the emptiness that stays when you give up on things that do not serve you. When you are willing to create this space for new work, new results, new relationships, new friends, whatever, you first have to create a space there. Otherwise, if there's no space, so no one will come, because where? And I reflect a lot on it from the relationship perspective, because I fulfill my time mostly now with work. So like, why would some new people come if there's not enough space for them outside of the business stuff, right? And it's a good reflection. Okay, so when you go and, for example, change this industry, so I can imagine like some other people really criticizing you for oh, why haven't you stayed in this industry and just achieved, you know, whatever better position over the years, if you found something that might be more interesting to you? Well, because you're willing to accept this responsibility for yourself. And people will be judging you because it points out at some point to their incompetency and inability to do this. You know, like little kids again, like, oh, he was definitely cheating with this castle. Come on. Because adults, what would an adult tell you? Wow, you're, you know, like accepting responsibility like this, you're going into, you found what works for you, what you like. This is so good, I'm happy for you. Why would an adult person be telling you, like, you know, this parental, it's sort of parental, but in fact it's child. It's a child saying, oh, you're going somewhere else. You leave me here. Or you're leaving this industry. This castle, this is where you will achieve more. How can you know? Who are you to tell me? But in fact, it's like a kid that is scared that someone would show that their castle is not that big. But it's not the point. This is not why we are achieving more things. It's like, it reminds me of like socialism, right? So when I reach more, it doesn't mean that you're less. It doesn't mean that it's unfair. No, it's perfectly fair because I accepted responsibility. I am not expecting anything from anyone. I just go my way because I want to be happy. And a relevant adult would think, oh, this is so great. How can we cooperate together? Or just, you know, like, I'm happy for you. We're not comparing happiness of a journey. It's like, imagine that, but actually, maybe some people do this, but in a different way. Imagine you have a happy relationship. You're really glad about it, right? And your friend also has a relationship. And you're both happy. So what do you go? Like, you go out, what do you think? Will you be like saying, oh, my relationship is better than yours? This is not parental control. It's, or parental, you know, some super adult thing. No, it's like child. It's real like comparing toys. It doesn't serve anyone. You're impressing whom? Your father? Impress your father, not the word. And instead, what you will say that your friend will be like, hey, I have such a happy relationship. What will you say? Will you say, oh, I'm sure that your relationship is still not good enough. It's not as good as mine. Or, oh, maybe you should find some other. Or, why haven't you stayed in the last one that didn't serve you? It's so stupid, isn't it? It's sorry, okay, like this was judgmental, but it's very like child. Why haven't you stayed somewhere when it doesn't serve you? Well, because you choose yourself. If you choose yourself, you won't allow in your life things that do not serve you. If you love yourself, and I was just like, damn, I really make a decision. I really want to, a very aware decision, like, I want to choose myself. I want to live well. I want to have a happy life. I want to have, you know, less troubles, whatever. I want to have job that I love. I want to do things that I love and so on. And I'm really, you know, okay, maybe I'm not 100% there, but I'm really moving there very well. I'm really grateful for my surroundings, for people around, for my things I'm doing outside of my regular work. I do a lot of things. Recently, I've been really like working till while I am oftentimes, and I was tired, but I did it because I know why I'm doing it. And if someone came, I'm sure that my grandpa, he would come anyway, and he would be like, why you just don't find some receptionist job? Settle for less, please. Because I think this is like really some pattern from the past, like as if me having a better life would mean that you have like less, you know? But this is not how it works. To the contrary, if I profit, if I have a better life, if I have a better whatever salary, or not salary, like income, so then the more I can spend money on other people's businesses, I can go and buy something, I can hire people, so even more people benefit, and it's really like zero-sum game. But if you will try to kill my business, my efforts and so on, if I will suffer, if I won't have a good time, so like no one has a good time, because if I'm happy, so no one wants to be around, because you do want to be around unhappy people, right? So you want to be around happy people, so make people happy. Think of like what makes them happy, you know, like, or you don't have to, you're not responsible for them either, so just make yourself happy. And you know, this is it. But many people really believe that there's really this sort of celebration, like if I stayed in the same position for 20 years, does it mean I improve? Do I grow? Or do I just get a salary increase year by year because it's in some company corporate sheet? Well, it's not really what I want, right? I want to grow, I want to evolve. And evolve to grow, it's not like ambitious thing. It's actually a natural thing. Because this is nature, you know, like which water flow? What does water do? Well, it flows. No matter what the obstacles, no matter nothing, it just flows. It may change, but it flows. If you stop, you degrade, you die. So, but people seek stability. This is a little different topic, but actually it's connected. I will speak about this in New Economic School next week. Here in Georgia, that people seek stability, but again, stability is not really adult position or, you know, like control parent position. It's actually a child be like, oh, the world is unfair, oh, I need to control this world, I need to control this tower, this castle, whatever, I need to control this playground. But in fact, it's like an offense on the word, like like as if it was unfair, but I believe that word life is actually pretty fair, honestly. So it, you know, like your surrounding, your external world is usually reflecting your inner world and vice versa. So the more you believe that the world is unfair, well, the more it will become unfair. And this seeking stability, you know, like adults are not seeking stability. I've realized that this stability, it's also like a fairy tale. It's fairy tale by institutions who tell you that we should aim for stability, but in fact, what the hell in the world is stable? Nothing. And it can't be, because it's unnatural. But the word, we try to aim like the word, we try to treat the word as if it should be meeting our requirements, meeting our conditions, meeting whatever, but it's not real. You cannot control word. But of course, like politicians love to give us the impression so that they figured things out. They already know the recipe for life and for word, and some other authorities as well. Because if they give us this impression, so the more likely we won't be asking them to leave their roles, because it's not real, right? But people love to watch and to listen to this fairy tale because it's like a child, you know, like, oh, the government will take care and I will have a stable life, or the corporate will take care and I will have a stable income. But and I realize this because when you go and freelance, when you make your own business, so you won't have a stable income. If you require it, it's not really working. yeah, things will go up and down, and it's normal. So just like count on it. Like, how can you implement this instability into your business plan? This is how you think as an adult. And but as a child, you think like, oh, I need to make every month, I don't know, $2,000. And I realize now that this require, like, the system, the work, the way the word works, it's like more about it's more this pro-stability life, right? But it's an illusion. It's like we keep ourselves in the child position of like, either it will be stable or I'm offended, as if it was wrong. But who are you to tell the world how it should work? You know, like, do you constantly have the stable sky, clouds, sun? Yeah, it comes. Sun comes, but it's not a salary. Again, like the water, the rain, it's just like up and down, a little, and things are changing. It's like, it's never really the same. It's the progress. It cannot be the same. You don't want it to be the same, because it's like, even the relationship, what pleasure would you have if it was the same every single day? You can't have it. And it's like normal. Like, your body is not the same every day. The way you work out, the way you slept, whatever, it's not the same. It cannot be the same. Stop requiring stability. Accept responsibility for your own life. And be happy for others if they went their way. You also go your own way. And there's nothing to prove to the world or yourself, but prove to your parents, maybe. Yeah. I wish you a lovely day. Take care.